Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another installment in our, well, playing Ultimate Alliance 3 as intended. So let's go ahead and break into this and make sure that we can knock out these objectives as intended. Now, as a reminder, what I mean by playing Ultimate Alliance 3 as intended is any of the on-screen instructions that we're given. Of course, we need to follow and complete those, but we are also going to be making sure that anytime we have a cutscene that pops up, we are picking our team based off the characters that are appearing in that most recent cutscene, should they be available to us. And finally, any of the dialogue instructions that happen, this mainly pertains to the instructions that come from Nick Fury, will be followed to their completion as well. So we'll skip through this cutscene, mainly because it doesn't do us any good to watch through the cutscene, because we are still not at a point where we have any adjustment or change in how many characters we have and what characters are usable. And let's see if we can make our way through the remainder of these opponents to make our way into the next section, where we will start to unlock some characters and their usable formats. Making our way through this next little section, and this door is going to take us up to another interaction where Spider-Man gets introduced to us. But now, let's see here. It says it's now possible to increase the ranks of your abilities. Do so by pressing the plus button, selecting team, and accessing the menu. So let's go ahead and follow those instructions. So here we are, X in the ability menu. We'll press A to proceed. We'll go ahead and rank up one of these abilities, and it doesn't give us the instruction to rank up those abilities all of the time, but since we had the instruction to do so, we wanted to go ahead and knock that out. And I believe Gamora might be one of the characters that we use with a bit more frequency over the course of this series. Let's skip through this cutscene as well, because even though Spider-Man is introduced to us as a playable character, we do not yet have options to pick and add him to the team, though we will be seeing more of Spider-Man in action in today's video, based off of him showing up in some cutscenes later on. So don't you worry, the Web Warrior and Webhead himself does indeed have a lot of reason to show up later today. Let's go ahead and make our way through the remainder of these fights. Let's get that synergy out of the way to stagger the stunned enemy. And now we've got a couple more of these opponents hanging out back this way. There we go. Nice synergy attack there. And it does tend to give us the benefit of using these attacks when, or the benefit of giving us those instructions when we are privy to doing so. Come on, get through you, thank you, and especially right before we ended up taking a hit off of them. There we go. That's a final strike on that final opponent. And now we make our way out to the compound so we can combat against Sandman. Up towards the top, we'll open up this door, make our way out to the sand yard. And here we are against Sandman. Now again, I'll be skipping this cutscene, mainly due to the fact that we need it in order to progress through. And we don't, again, have the option to make any changes to the team as it currently is available to us. Roll out of the way of that, and then we will come in and get some damage in on Sandman. Come on, let's get enough damage in so we get some opponents coming in. And we did just barely get that. Unfortunately, we didn't end up getting the last synergy attack that we had there against them. Hey, get out of the way. And if we come over here, whoop, Spider-Man got rid of the last little bit of that. So now it's our turn to continue attacking into Sandman. There comes the sand stream that we'll roll out of the way of. And honestly, a pretty straightforward fight. It just takes a while due to the nature of the team members being at a lower level. Okay, get out of the way of that. Nice roll there from Gamora. More strikes and attacks into our opponents here. That works fairly well. And that's a defense break off of that guy. There we are. One final strike into that guy. And now we are free. It was a little early on the roll there, but that's alright. Now let's go ahead and roll out of the way of that sand stream that he throws out against us. And we should be able to take on the remainder of his health in this segment. Let's get up in here. And there we go. Nice final confrontation here against Sandman. Now, there is a cutscene that's fairly lengthy here. This is going to be one of the last ones that we skip through, mainly because towards the end of the cutscene, it is made abundantly clear to us that every character is in the cutscene and usable. So let's go ahead and skip through this so we can get through the remainder of the character introductions that are here. And there is a certain degree of strategy that you would want to try and use if you know the general progression of the storyline and story quest. I'm not going to lean into that as much because I haven't sat down and analyzed every single cutscene throughout the entire game to determine who is the best choice, mainly because if you're playing in this type of a challenge from the get-go, you don't have that option or that luxury. So let's talk with Nick Fury so we can get past this section of the game. We'll now interact with the shield point because that is required for us to make our way through that. And then there's two items that were just outlined to us. So first off, we have the lab it instructs us to go over to so we can go through the Alliance enhancement. And let's go ahead and spec into some additional strength, just because for the sake of this challenge, that will be one of the more beneficial items. So we've got 3 items in our strength. We don't have any extra credits in order to purchase the remainder of those. So now we'll pivot over to our hero select and get our first look at our expanded roster and characters that we are able to use. So I'm immediately going to switch out Star-Lord. He's not overly prevalent, but he does have a couple of shining moments in the cutscenes. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get rid of him. We are going to add in Spider-Man because he is very present throughout the case of, or the progress of this section. We are also going to add in Iron Man. Iron Man was in a very heated discussion with Rocket towards the end of that cutscene. And then we are going to add in Captain America because he has a lot of overbearing in the course of the story as well. And for our final member, let's go ahead and use Thor. Now, this specific team composition I have never used before, and that's part of the reason that I wanted to do this type of a challenge, is because it allows me to make changes to the team and pick combinations that I wouldn't normally do. And that's a part of the fun nature of this challenge. Here we are going into the next little section, and we'll want to be cautious with Thor, Iron Man, and Spider-Man on the team, mainly due to the fact that they have alternate traversal options. And unfortunately, even though they have those traversal options, they consume energy points when you choose to use them. And this should be enough to take out the remainder of those opponents. And now we can make our way through this gate. Okay, Thor just barely made it through that laser grid. And now we can push Captain America through this other grid as we block it off. And we don't have anyone that can teleport at this point, so we can't make our way through this area here. But that gets us through there. Oh, there's a strike on us there. There we are. There, we're through the second laser grid. That's what we needed to have happen. Now into the cafeteria. Let's get this cell block brawl going on. And I am going to start off by using Thor to get rid of a lot of these smaller grunt-type opponents, especially the fire-slinging ones that like to really mess people over from a distance. Now let's go ahead and use our Thunder there to make our way through some of these larger opponents. And there's a Mjolnir strike, which I really don't like the fact that Mjolnir does not strike on the return hardly at all. You caught it at the tail end there. But apart from that, he doesn't really have the option of attacking into his opponents with the return of his Mjolnir throw. And that just completely missed that opponent, so that's not fun either. Now we can make our way up to this next section, and wait, there was a visual glitch that had happened back here that I think is kind of funny. That's hilarious, the fact that we had destroyed the table, but not the cups and papers that were standing on top of it. If we make our way in here ahead of our other team members, we should be able to make our way right past that puzzle. Nice work, team. And now we can make our way through these opponents here. Oh, and I got Fireball Sniped, which is not an overly fun thing to have there. And nice work from the Web Slinger there. And, oh, we needed to get rid of you a little bit quicker than we did. Oh, I should have had that Web Sling there. But that was a nice little chunk of damage that we were able to deal in that character's face. Nice work from Spider-Man again here. Now, I know that Spider-Man is going to be one of the characters that is made available to us coming into this next section of the fight, because we are coming into Venom. There we go. Nice little punching sequence there. If we get another one there, that should get us through that opponent. There we go. Nice little progress through there. That gives the whole team a level up, and now we can head into the fight against Venom and Electro. Now we need to keep an eye on our cutscenes. We can't make a change to our team here after this cutscene because it goes into a boss fight. I don't even know if it shows us the members of our party. It looks like it may not. But we just have the introduction of Venom and Electro coming in here. Okay, there was a brief moment there where we saw Spider-Man along with the other members of the Guardians of the Galaxy. But we get introduced to Venom. He's a member of the next cutscene as well. And Electro coming out to play here as well. I don't know if we have another look at the team and its composition. I would feel inclined to believe that we probably do not. Oh, you're just going to sit there and cackle. I didn't think that he actually... I thought that he actually said things there, but apparently that is not the case.
Now that I'm out of that cell, I plan to stay out.
Go get him. I had him. And hit him again just there. Oh boy. Really? Okay, we'll switch over to Iron Man here. Okay, do I have anyone that can synergize here? Looks like Captain America can. Let's get a shield throw in there. And then... Oh, we didn't get a... what was the word I was looking for? We didn't get a stagger there, which is unfortunate. There we go. That gets a stun and also through the remainder of that. Let's switch over to... That's such a creepy animation there. But we have to switch over in our team here to have a little more benefit in this attack. Now, I don't know if Venom is resistant to electrical type attacks, primarily from Thor's ability here, but I don't necessarily want to find that out if I can avoid it as he leaps across the battlefield there. Now we need to make sure that we can activate the sirens, and he is auto-targeted onto Thor here, so that is good. And now, come on, Spider-Man, get down on the ground so we can get the remainder of our damage in here. Ooh, we just about had him one-cycled there in that fight, and shortly thereafter we are able to take him out the remainder of the way. Now we've got another cutscene coming up here. Venom becomes playable after this cutscene, so we're going to need to find him a spot on the team. And yep, it's Spider-Man and the other Guardians of the Galaxy, so we're going to have to pivot back to Spider-Man and Venom, as well as 2 members of the Guardians team. So let's go ahead and skip past the remainder of that, because no one else was going to be featured in that cutscene. And now we go ahead and switch our team around again. So let's come into our hero select. Spider-Man can stay out. I think it's better if he does. We're going to go ahead and switch Venom onto the team. We are also going to switch Gamora back onto the team, and probably Drax, because they are the heavier hitting members of the team for sure. And this is kind of the danger that you're going to run into in later sections of the game, is you are going to have characters that you have to force onto your team per the parameters that we have set up for ourselves that may not be as strong as other members that you have been playing with in your party for up until that point. So let's go ahead and make our way up here. We've got Luke Cage being introduced, and we will probably need to use him in a brief moment once we get to a point where we can make adjustments to the team, but he's just introduced at this moment, so we'll have to make that change after this cell block fight, because I don't believe that there's another cutscene after this fight. Oh, come on. Oh, get around that. Thank you. And I don't have someone who can synergize with Gamora anymore, so that's all sorts of fun. Ooh, nice ability use there from the AI controlling Venom. And we'll just use our Sky Strike from Gamora here on our own terms. That gets rid of that last regular enemy. And now that's through the final opponent. We're going to go ahead and switch Luke Cage onto the team because he was in the previous cutscene and he's now available to us. We'll substitute Drax out for Luke Cage here. So I feel like Luke Cage is a character that's a little bit more beneficial. Not by a whole lot, but by a fair enough margin. So let's go ahead and put Luke Cage in our spotlight here and then make our way into the next little section. Now I have this set of gates memorized due to all of the speedrunning that I do for this game. So as we make our way around this, just kind of take note of it if that is something that you are interested in doing as well.
Simply amazing.
Now,
But there are more twists and turns still to come.
nice strike there from Luke Cage coming in. Ooh, that was quite nice. And a nice finishing strike on there as well. I really forget how much power Luke Cage has behind him and the strikes that he doles out. Though I don't think that he's going to be around very much longer based off of the team composition we have. Now, we've got this cutscene coming through, but we can't make any adjustments here. But because of the introduction of these younger Avengers here, we will have to add them onto the team after this fight when they are unlocked for us. Come on. Oh, Miss Marvel is hitting a lot harder than I would like her to. And as we all turn to focus Spider-Gwen here, she's going to be made available to us as well. Come on. Didn't think it was going to take you that much to get down to a point where you're usable. Here's another cutscene that we can skip. It's the next one that we are going to want to pay attention to because that's where these characters become unlocked and ready for us to use.
Usually goes nuts when bad guys attack. Well, at least my other powers are still working.
Ooh, that was close. Come on, Miles. There we go. Nice strike there from Luke Cage in the long-distance chain to take Miles out there.
Get out of here. I'm really gonna let you have
I think his ability that he has here is the Sweet Christmas, which isn't one of my favorites from him. Ooh, that's just such a brutal drop kick from Miss Marvel there. And that's a nice chain strike there. And that's Miss Marvel out of the way.
This is totally what oppression looks like. I demand a phone call.
And here we go against Spider-Gwen. A little clash there with her downwards aerial. And we're going to switch off of Luke Cage as we come into the Mysterio portion of the fight. Let's go ahead and have Venom in our primary slot. And there is Mysterio. Now, Venom has a really nice ability here, which I was hoping would deal more damage than that. Ooh, and the Mysterio getting just out of the way. And we didn't have the ability to get off a synergy attack there, which is unfortunate. Ooh, that was bad. Because we couldn't isolate which one was the real Mysterio quickly enough. Get out of that. This is an attack that I really don't like from the couple of characters that have it available to them. Mainly Mysterio and the AIM soldiers. And that didn't really help us there. That's him. This is him right here. And we're just taking more damage and a beating there. We need to switch off to somebody else to conserve some health here. And that's one of the other difficulties that we're going to run into here with these different boss fights, is we are going to end up not being able to deal the damage that we need to as we continuously switch our team around. But there's the Mysterio fight out of the way. And now we are going to be heading into a cutscene with Miss Marvel here. And I don't know if there's an additional... I actually do think that we get the introduction to the rest of them. So there's Miles and Miss Marvel and Spider-Gwen here. All of them introduced. And let's see how they interact with the party, because I don't recall who is in this section. It's Venom. Okay. So we can leave Venom on the team there. And we had a brief glimpse of, I think, Star-Lord there as well. But I think what we'll want to do is we'll want to leave Venom on the team and then pivot these other 3 members for the other 3 slots on the team. So let's go ahead, go to Hero Select, and let's go ahead and put Miss Marvel, Spider-Gwen, and Miles on the team. So a very web-slinging heavy team that we have at this point, with the exception of Miss Marvel, but that is all well and good. We've got additional characters waiting for us down here, mainly just Wolverine. And then into the courtyard for this cell block rumble we go. Ooh, that was a really good strike from Miss Marvel there to get rid of the fire striking opponents. That's a nice little disjointed force palm there to get rid of those other opponents. Ooh, that was good. But I don't have a synergy there yet again. These team members not synergizing the way that I would really like and prefer that they did. Ooh, that was good though. And that takes out the remainder of that opponent. A large area effect type attack there. Venom growing to level 9, putting him on par with the other members of the team. Come on. Miss Marvel putting in a really nice and healthy spattering of work here. That gets this guy down. Ooh, nice health and energy point refill there. This is the last guy that needs to go down, and that should just about do it. And now this is the team that we have to ride into the Dr. Octopus fight, but we'll have to adjust that team immediately thereafter as well. All sorts of fun happening there. I do really like that falling aerial from Miss Marvel. It has a lot of power and range to it. I mean, just look at how far her foot gets away from her on that falling aerial. I think it's one of the most ranged falling aerial attacks in the game. But if we stand too close to this gate, it's going to warp us back, which I don't understand as to why that's the case. Let's see who is in this cutscene. I believe it should pair up pretty well with the cutscene immediately after. So we do have Miss Marvel and Venom. Crystal making an appearance, and Spider-Man there. So that's are for preliminarily, and we'll have to see if that is still the spattering of heroes and characters that we will need to use after this fight is completed, and ultimately those that will be in the Green Goblin fight. But we got to get through this one first. So let's do just that. Ooh, there's the dash attack. I didn't get that at all last time I fought Dr. Octopus here. Ooh, there we go. Get there. And Miles' primary ability is not a good one by any stretch of the imagination. But there's still more work for us to do here as we confront our nemesis here. Oh, get away from that. Let's go ahead and switch over to Spider-Gwen here. I do get a synergy there. That's actually really nice. But it's not going to be a whole lot of damage that we're able to get. Ooh, that's not particularly great. Oh, I thought I could get around that with that dashing heavy attack there from Spider-Gwen, but apparently not. And let's get another synergy there. Apparently not. That's unfortunate, because it did stun the last time. That did get us around that strike, as he seeked to run away from us. I figured that that would have done more for us there, but that's a good transition point into the second phase of this fight. And on to the elevator for the second phase we go. And this should go fairly smooth once we get him staggered out the first time. We've got extreme attacks on lockdown ready to go for this next phase. Though I am going to switch back over to Miss Marvel. Ooh, that did a fair amount of damage there. And a nice trade on that, but I was hoping for some other damage that we would be able to deal there. There we go. Just one final limb to take out here. And then we'll want to get all the members of the team in here for this extreme attack onslaught. And that's a really quick way to get rid of Dr. Octopus there. Now we've got a cutscene coming up here, and we'll have to see who is present, because that will determine who goes in to the Green Goblin fight. I'm pretty sure that we get an introduction to it, but if not, we have to base off of that. Who do we have there? That's Spider-Man, Miss Marvel, Crystal, and Venom. So that's the team that we will need to have going into the Green Goblin fight. Very brief glimpse, but a glimpse nonetheless. That's a funny little saunter that happens there with with Spider-Gwen. But we need to make the final adjustment of the video going into this next fight. So Miss Marvel's present, Venom is present. We need to switch out and add Spider-Man, and we need to switch in the weakest member of the party, both in terms of what they are capable of offering, as well as in comparison with the other members of the team, that being Crystal. But Miss Marvel is going to hit level 10 as a part of this fight, so that should be pretty good. Let's go ahead and move into this fight against the Green Goblin. Again, it's not really going to matter in this cutscene as to what we can do, because we don't have any control, really, Ooh, that was spot on, but it was just in the way of our opponent there. That was a nice strike there, though. And Crystal using some flame attacks from a distance there. Not the worst thing that we've seen her do by any measure of the imagination. And we just barely missed that strike. But we've got a lot of damage coming in here. You don't want to use these bombs against Green Goblin when he is staggered, because they don't do as much damage as one might hope. Ooh, I thought I got that out ahead of time, but apparently not. Who keeps getting in my way? I actually think that he should be vulnerable into his second phase here. Ooh, I should have rolled immediately there instead of anticipating more attacks coming through. I shouldn't have used that, but I had one in my hand, so I had to get rid of it to deal any sort of additional damage here. Let's get... Ooh, we just barely missed that strike. And there's no more bombs for me to use right here, which is unfortunate. We're going to get another one in just a moment. And we just barely missed that, which is unfortunate. But let's strike him with that. And use our extreme attacks here, as that's going to be more than enough to finish him off and get us into the next section. Now, I need to have something on hand that I can write this down or take a note. This part of the cutscene doesn't mean anything for us, so let's warp to the one where he's coming back. This is going to determine who we have to choose from going into the starting section of the next world. So we have Spider-Man, of course. That is an option available to us. And this is one of the longer cutscenes, if I do recall.
What do you say, Norman?
This is how it all ends.
So, who else is available to our party?
This ought to hold you until the raft's guards can fit you for a new straitjacket.
Alright, there's Star-Lord. So that's a secondary option that we have here.
Whoa, hey, not a good
The three Young Avengers, that's up to 5 different characters that we can pick from.
Your pocket is not a safe place, Space Bro.
That's funny. Because this one...
Who else do we have? Do we have anyone else? Luke Cage, that's a 6th option.
And he didn't bother using it.
It's far better that he didn't when used by those.
And then Gamora popping in here, so that's 7 different options for us now.
Disastrous results.
Like landing us on this miserable mudball of a planet.
And Rocket, and Venom. That's now 9 characters that we have to pick from. And it may be in our best interest to continue using some of the characters that we have had. However, I'm fairly confident in saying that Venom doesn't appear in a whole lot more of these cutscenes going forward. But there's a lot more rambling that Star-Lord's going to do here as we come into the next section, and none of it is any more pertinent than what we have already outlined and analyzed. So that's going to be where I end things off for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure that you leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe for the daily variety content, and tune in next week to see who I pick for my starting crew going into the Shadowlands section of the game. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day.